What is rear steer? Have you ever wondered how NASCAR cars handle those tight turns at high speeds? One key element that plays a role in this is something called rear steer. So, what exactly is rear steer? Rear steer refers to the situation where the rear axle of a race car is not perfectly aligned with the center line of the chassis. This means the rear wheels can point slightly in or out compared to the direction the car is moving. This misalignment can actually help steer the rear of the car, which affects how it handles on the track. In the world of NASCAR, rear steer can be both static and dynamic. Static rear steer is when the rear axle is intentionally set at an angle. This is done by adjusting the length of the rear suspension components. For instance, if the right side of the axle is positioned forward compared to the left side, the rear end will steer the car to the right. This can make the car feel tighter, which is known as understeer. On the flip side, if the right side is set further back, the car will feel looser, leading to oversteer. Dynamic rear steer occurs while driving. As the rear suspension moves up and down due to bumps or cornering forces, the rear axle can skew slightly. This changes the rear steer angle as the car is in motion, allowing for adjustments in handling during a race. NASCAR teams often manipulate rear steer to enhance cornering performance. By adjusting the geometry of the suspension, such as the length and angle of the trailing arms, teams can create a specific amount of rear steer. This helps influence how the car rotates through turns. For example, increasing rear steer can improve how the car turns in tight corners, while reducing it can provide more stability. Two common rear suspension designs that affect rear steer are Z-Link suspension and Wishbone suspension. Z-Link suspension uses a single radius rod on top and a torsion arm on the bottom to locate the rear axle. This design is often found in sprint and midget cars and allows for controlled adjustments of rear steer. On the other hand, Wishbone suspension uses a triangular shape with rod ends connected to the bearing carrier and frame, providing another way to influence rear axle alignment. In NASCAR stock cars, rear steer is achieved by modifying the suspension arms. As the suspension compresses or extends, the rear wheels can be pushed slightly forward or backward. This changes their angle relative to the chassis, generating more skew. Skew is the difference in angle between the left and right rear wheels, which helps the car turn more effectively on oval tracks. Overall, rear steer is a subtle yet powerful tool in NASCAR suspension setups. It allows teams to fine-tune the car's handling balance, improving performance in corners. However, it requires careful adjustments because too much rear steer can make the car unstable at high speeds. Understanding and managing rear steer is essential for achieving optimal performance on the track.